You've already had a presence for over two decades, if I understand correctly, in Israel. But now there's an official branch. So why here and why now?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. If you're in the medical device industry, we're in the U.S. That's the number one market that everybody wants to go to. But there's only one market like the Israeli market in the innovation around medical devices. In a nation of about 10 million people, the amount of technology that come out of here that really have changed the face of medical devices and curing millions of patients, not in the U.S., but around the world, really is unmatched pound for pound around the globe.
And why do you think that is?
Gosh, I think first, some of it has to do with the culture. A lot of it has to do with the intelligence as well. And a lot of it about the drive and desire. When you're when you're a country that is constantly in a state of pushing technology because everybody else outsizes them. And we find a lot of this technology comes out of military. A lot of this comes out of the thought leaders in that area that finds its way into medical device. So I think that's part of it. And I think the Israeli culture always drives harder than most of the other nations I've worked with around the world, which is many of them. And they have a single-minded pursuit of once they pick a target, they go after that target unabashedly and only stop when they reach that destination. So we enjoy working with them.
So how is it different from the US market then?
The U.S. market does innovation, but maybe not on a per capita output that Israel does, right? So what the U.S. market does extraordinarily well is scale, treat patients just because of the population, commercialize, and manufacture. Israel innovates. They're not known for manufacturing. Part of it is a footprint. Part of it is just the pure landmass you can't do it with. So the U.S. needs an innovation partner in the medtech industry. And so we focus here in Israel on what we can do. Create an idea, bring it far enough along, prove it clinically, prove it from a safety perspective, then bring it to the U.S. And there in the U.S., they'll either get financing and or they'll get acquired for scale. Mm-hmm. So that scale happens in the hundreds of millions where you don't have that scale here.
So what are the challenges that Israeli companies face when they want to recruit talent from the U.S.?
It's a good question. So we do a number of things. We build the teams, recruit, but we also offer advisement on how to manage through to that. One of the strengths of an Israeli founded company is that they believe they can do everything. And that's a strength of theirs. The problem is they believe they can do everything. So when you cross over to the US market, there are a lot of nuances between the cultures in interacting with the FDA, in working with the hospitals there to drive clinical trials. And then eventually also getting that same belief and that same commitment 7 hours away or 10 hours away sometimes in California, 7 hours on the East Coast. I grew up in New York. So you grow up knowing that animated discussion, healthy arguments are part of the daily diet. That sometimes doesn't translate over to the rest of the country, right? The US is large. So understanding that the technology coming out of Israel is good, but it's not quite finalized yet. It needs to be refined and nuanced to make it through the US market. Sites of care, hospitals, ambulatory surgical centers, just the way patients are treated there. So sometimes when an American tells an Israeli that their baby is ugly and it needs some fixing, it doesn't go over well. Mm-hmm. So you've got to have somebody who understands how to work with the Israeli culture, how to work at the same rate, the same intensity, the same belief system, back and forth. And that is very difficult to do if you don't have the ability to recruit those people from Israel. So in the US, we've been connected with the Israeli market for more than 2 decades, as you mentioned earlier. We understand the dynamic. I'm from New York as well, so I understand that intensity. Mm-hmm. And we can go ahead and select talent there, as well as give the advisement to the Israeli companies about how to onshore their medical device.
All right. And lastly, we're running out of time, but you are here with a U.S. delegation who is visiting all sort of places in Israel that's connected to innovation here.
That's right. So 2 years ago, after the event in October, we were very concerned about Israel's place in the U.S. market, especially for a number of dynamics and reasons that went on, most of them unfounded, by the way. We had created a U.S.-Israeli delegation, so a number of U.S. business people, bankers, professionals, strategics out of the big med device companies put together a delegation, and we came over to Israel, and we visited a number of the incubators, a number of the government programs that are pushing forward that technology. So we continue to do that every year now. We believe that the U.S. needs to know that Israel is stronger than ever, that the investment community here is as good as ever. The venture capital deals that can come into this country that will bring the medical devices back to the U.S. are better than ever. And that continues on an annualized basis. So we're in town for a couple of days to visit some of the technology sectors and the people who are moving Israeli medtech forward.
Well, we're happy to have you here in Israel and at our i24 News studios. Thank you so much for joining us, Chairman and CEO of the Mullings Group of companies, Joe Mullings.
Thank you.